Discuss this big news flow and a lot of the companies that will be impacted. Ajay Bodke of Prabhudas Leeladhar joins in now. Ajay, the minimum import price has finally come through and we are expecting a lot of metal stocks to be on the upside. But as a long-term investor, how do you approach this space, both the metal companies as well as the banks that will have relief now because of this?
Good morning. I think it's a very bold trade move by the government, and this has been a long-pending demand both from the steel sector as well as from the banking sector, which has seen a large amount of stressed assets coming from the steel sector along with the infrastructure sector. I think we believe that this bold move would lead to the steel companies taking a price hike of at least between $60 to $90, say on the HRC, which is a 17% hike. I think they actually can go ahead and take a higher hike, but we believe that the presence of excess capacity in the industry as well as the competitive intensity will ensure that that they will not be able to take the entire hike. But at the same time, I think the hike that I just referred to, 17 to 20% on various products, has the potential to be a game changer for the steel industry. Now, in addition to that, we believe that by end of February or early March, the industry also might go in and apply for anti-dumping measures, which in itself will take some time to come. But in the interim, for a 6-month period to start with, this is a very big boost that the government has given to the steel sector. And this has the potential, in our view, to change sort of the continuous pessimism that one is seeing on the street in case of the metal stocks. And there is a and we believe that I think certain names like JSPL or JSW Steel should be looked at with a medium-term perspective. Tata Steel also sort of would be a beneficiary. However, the continuing pressure on the operations from the chorus, I think, would limit the upside in case of Tata Steel, whereas pure plays like JSW Steel or JSPL and SAIL would be the bigger beneficiaries of this move. Now, on the other side, I think you also have the entire PSU banking space and some of the leading private sector banks like ICICI. In fact, on the conference call this quarter, I remember ICICI Bank being asked about what is the percentage of total steel loans which are under stressed category, NPA and restructured. And if I'm not wrong, the number given out was around 20%. So that sort of is symptomatic of the kind of stress that the banking space has faced on the steel side. So there will be a huge relief in many of the for many of the bank companies, and I expect a strong bounce back to come in names like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, although Axis Bank is less exposed as compared to ICICI Bank, as also some of the PSU banks like SBI and PNB. So I think it's a very good move, and investors would give a thumbs up for this.
Okay, I wanted to come back to you on Tata Steel. What is your estimate in terms of higher EBITDA for Tata Steel if this MIP is extended to beyond 6 months? What will the impact be, and how would you approach that stock?
Yeah, I don't have the number readily available, but as I said, sort of our preference remains on JSW Steel and JSPL, because we believe that the European operations will continue to weigh heavily on Tata Steel operations. And hence, our focus would be more on the other two stocks.
Okay, actually, well, Ajay, before we wrap up this discussion, I just wanted one clarification. There is one risk that that a lot of these steel traders could perhaps go ahead and over-invoice the import consignments and then sell them in the domestic market at a lower price, etc. Do you think the government will be able to sort of keep the proper checks and balances to avoid any illegal activity? Do you think this entire MIP could be feasible? Because it's quite high, right? I mean, the prices at which the MIP have come through, for $450 to $500 on hot rolled, $500 to $560 on cold rolled.
I think you've hit the issue. You got the issue exactly right. I think what is equally important now, after having made this bold announcement, is for the authorities to have a very stringent check and ensure that no such illegalities are sort of happen or are encouraged. And the government and the authorities will have to keep a very hawkish watch that no over-invoicing of imports is done by traders to beat sort of the stringent measures that the government has announced. So I think one will have to keep a very close watch and see the government action on implementation of this policy.
Okay. Well, there was also the case that in any case, the government's rule that Indian users, steel users, should only use BIS certified steel is anyway coming into play. So in any case, there is going to be a restriction of amount of imported steel and unbranded steel that Indian users could avail of. So there is that support also coming for the steel companies. Okay, let's quickly resume the other discussion on other stocks that we should be watching. Ajay, any of the results stood out for you in the last week or so?
Yeah, I think last week a few of the mid-cap results stood out for me. Hexaware Technologies numbers, I think although they were impacted due to the Chennai floods, disproportionately around 35% of the total workforce is in Chennai. But on the conference call, the company gave a very strong guidance. They said that they will be able to beat the NASSCOM guidance quite convincingly for calendar year 16. And also sort of they will be seeing increase in margins going forward in the calendar year 16. So those results stood out for me. The company is trading quite attractively. We have a target price of around 300 rupees in the medium term for the company, an earnings growth of around 20 to 25% expected over the medium term. The other result that stood out for me was Cummins. As we went into the results, there was a lot of apprehension that the company might cut its guidance for the next financial year, but the company reiterated its guidance for FY16, 10 to 15% in case of domestic operations, and in case of exports between 0 and 5%, which is the same guidance as as the current financial year. They reiterated that for the next financial year also. They did mention